Hey folks, it's the Ready Raccoon here. Today I'm be coming at you with a review of the C.R.K.T. Persevere. It's basically an axe, paracord, and a couple wedges that you use to kind of make a small hatchet in the field. It's a good thing to keep in a survival bag, a bug out bag. It's not something that you would probably want to use as your primary hatchet or axe, but if you're in a bind, it's a good thing to have with you. Just got it in the mail a few days ago. I have opened the box already and kind of did a little bit of work on the edge. It was a little dull, so I just kind of sharpened it just a little bit and oiled the blade down real good. But other than that, I haven't messed with it. I haven't tried to put it together yet. The instructions call for a piece of green wood, nothing dead off the forest floor, and there's a step-by-step instruction manual in here on how to eventually put it all together and make a little hatchet. And I haven't done that yet, and I hope to do that here on video. I noticed there's nobody on YouTube really talking about this gear. There's one video from C.R.K.T. themselves showing the designer doing it step by step. I'll put a link to that video in the description below so you can reference that. But I'm going to try it myself, and we'll see if I can make myself a little improvised hatchet out of the materials in this box. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and let's see what's inside. Alright folks, we're out here by a pond. Going to go ahead and do a quick unboxing. It's going to come in this box, at least that's how I received it. You're going to have some advertisement in there for their other products. In this case it's going to be the Crkt. You're also going to get the step-by-step instructions. And when I say step-by-step, I literally mean step-by-step. Step 1, Step 2, I believe Step 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in 12 steps you can take the metal pieces and plastic pieces in this kit and assemble a hatchet in the field. Again, it's probably not ideal. It's not, you don't want that to be your primary, but it's good to have in a pinch and a bind, something to throw in the bug out bag, just so you have that extra cutting capability. Remember, your 5 C's of survival, cutting's a big one, so if it's one more thing that cuts, hey, why not, right? It's going to come in this black nylon case wrapped in plastic, and pull it out straight, guys. That's how it's going to come. It's actually a very nice little compact package. There's my hand. There's the size of the case. I mean, if you have any spare pockets at all in your backpack, I highly suggest you get this. Throw it in there. If you don't need it, you don't need it. If you need it, you had it. In the back you have a loop for your belt if you want to wear it on your belt. And these are just some dehydration things that they put in there for packaging purposes. Don't want to leave those out here. Don't want no animal getting a hold of those. You got a nice little PVC rubberized logo. It is going to be a Velcro closure. Okay, there's no snap. It's a Velcro closure, which is just fine. You know, again, it's one of those things you're not going to be using every day. It's for an emergency situation, in my opinion. Okay. Opens up. You got a couple compartments. You got the main blade in the back compartment, and in this front compartment, you're going to have 2 wedges and like a pin, I guess you would call it, and you're going to have some 550 paracord. You can use any kind of paracord, obviously, but the thing about this paracord is it's going to come with a bead on the end. You guys can see that. Now that bead is kind of important for the assembly. You're going to kind of use it to hold the cord in place. You know, that's the only thing that makes this paracord special. Obviously, if you have your own paracord, you take that bead right off and put it on the paracord of your choosing. If you want to use bright orange or something like that, you could definitely do that. This comes with paracord. It's going to come with wedges, 2 wedges for the back of the blade and 1 for the front. And last, you're going to have the blade itself. As you can see, it's going to have a plain edge. There's your middle slot for the circular pin, and there are your 2 oval-shaped slots for the other 2 flatter pins that you're going to use to wedge it onto the wood you find. A couple specifications about the blade. It is powder coated. It is 5.416 inches. It is 65 MN carbon steel, HRC 52 to 56. The thickness on the blade is going to be 0.160 inches or 4.06 millimeters. It's an axe head survival system according to their website, and that's it. That's all they have listed here under specifications on their website. You can look those up yourself at C.R.K.T.com if you want to, but that's right off the website. That liquid you see on there is the oil I talked about earlier. It's not going to come like this. It's just I was ready to store it. And I did do a little bit of work on the edge. Mine did come, I don't know, a little dull in my opinion. I haven't tested it yet. It might have been just fine out of the box, but I did do a little bit of work on the edge just to give it a little bit more cutting capability. You can see that black powder coating on there. Alright folks, just want to say a quick thing about the pins that come in the pack. They're not made of metal. I gotta say I was a little disappointed when I found that out. I don't know, when I saw the original C.R.K.T. instructional video, I just was under the impression that these were going to be made out of a solid piece of steel. That's not the case. They're made of plastic. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'm sure they'll handle just fine, especially in an emergency situation where you're only going to be using them on small to medium-sized pieces of wood. Now these pins are going to be made out of glass reinforced nylon, so I do believe they'll be okay for the task at hand. One thing I'm going to suggest you guys do is don't throw away this step-by-step instruction manual from the designer and the C.R.K.T. company. It's small, really compact. It's just too easy to slip that into your case and keep it with the pack, because you might not use this for years. Again, it's not going to be your primary hatchet or axe. It's something as a backup. Okay, so here we have our green piece of wood. As you can see, nice and green. Here's just a dead piece of wood that I found on the ground. It's going to basically be my baton for this little project. It's a dead piece of wood, not the kind of wood that the instructions suggest you use. They suggest you use a piece of green wood. That's because when you hit with it, it'll bend. It's not brittle. It won't break under the stresses of being used as an axe handle. Again, this is the first time I'm doing this. I'm doing it right on camera. I can't necessarily say it's going to be right, but let's give it a shot. So here we have our kit. I'm not necessarily going to narrate the steps to this process. If you want to see a step-by-step instructional video, again, I have the link to the C.R.K.T. video in the description box below. This is just me simply trying to do it. Got our notch. So here, my first attempt at making the axe. Let's give it a short initial test just to see how it works. So I'm going to take this piece of wood here and I'm going to just see if I can cut it in half. The pin fell out. Wedge fell out. Okay, I took apart the axe, put the wedge back in, re-tied it the best I could, and let's just see if we can finish cutting this piece of wood. There it is. Cut it in half. Pin fell back out. As you can see, it does okay. A lot of the problems I'm having right now have to do with the size of the piece of wood that I got. Just a little too small. The second problem I have is I made my notch here a little too deep. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the product. It has to do with this is the very first time I've ever put this together right in front of you guys here on YouTube on camera. Had I done a couple more practice runs and then filmed it like a professional YouTube guy, it would have performed a lot better. But I just wanted to show you that somebody with no experience with it, such as myself, could essentially take it out of its case and start cutting wood. Overall, I'm going to say that for 25 bucks, this ain't bad. This ain't bad at all. I can already tell you that the second time I put this together and use it, it's gonna perform much better. Worst case scenario, have to slip your pins back in, retie it every now and then, but you'll be able to cut. Like I said, this isn't really a primary tool. It's a survival tool. It's something you use in a pinch, and it gets you to processing wood. Okay folks, that was a quick test of the C.R.K.T. Persevere. As you can see, we had a couple issues with it. Again, I don't think it was due necessarily to the mechanical parts of it. It had to do with the stick I chose and the way I cut the front notch. So those are both things that are my fault. With practice, I will make this tool more and more proficient, but it got the job done. As you can see, we did manage to cut that piece of wood in half twice. Just a small piece of wood, just something to get our feet wet, to figure out where we need to practice at. But even with all those mistakes, it was a success. For $25, you could easily process a lot of wood in a pinch in a survival situation. So I do highly recommend this product. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, there's not really very many people talking about it on YouTube, so I'm kind of honored to be one of the first to upload something about it. I hope that you guys find this video useful, informative, and that you don't make the same mistakes I did whenever you purchase yours and start practicing with it. This is the Ready Raccoon. Thanks for watching.